Hi everyone, it's me back for a brand new video. Before I tell you who it's with, stay tuned for this. 15 subscribers away from giving this Stranraer ball out. And this week I'm joined by Gallagher. Grant, talk me through your early years of being a footballer.
My youth career started when I was at Celtic, when I joined their academy when I was about 8 years old, and got to work under some absolutely fantastic coaches when I was there, the likes of John Sludden, Martin Clark, Stevie Friel, and also at the time Tommy Burns was the head of youth, who would also come in and take sessions now and again, which is fantastic because obviously he was linked to the first team but would still find the time, daytime or night time whenever you were in, to come and take sessions. Each year the coach would change, so you would never work under the same person, which always made each season different because you're always learning new things. Some of the highlights from being there was probably getting to captain the side at 17s and winning the Glasgow Cup. I was also lucky enough to take part in 2 Youth Cup finals where we won one. That was probably the first time that I played under a decent sized crowd at Hampden, and also winning the league at 19s. Probably as well managing to get a couple of call-ups for Scotland at 19s level as well, so it was definitely an enjoyable time in my youth career.
You signed for Stranraer in 2010. What was the reason behind this move?
So in 2010 I was released from Celtic, and then really struggled to find myself another full-time club and trial a few places like Surveyor, etc, but no deals were ever offered. It was then Ryan Marshall at the time was the goalkeeper for Stranraer, and because we played at Celtic he gave me a text and he was saying, look, are you still looking for a club? And from there went into train with Stranraer and things just went really well. Keith Knox and Stevie Aitken were obviously the management at the time, and things went really well on trial. Played a couple of kind of friendlies. He offered me a deal, and then kind of the rest is history from there.
You played 208 games in your first spell. What was your memories from this time?
From a personal point of view, I think my most favourite memory being at Stranraer is getting my 200th appearance. On that day as well, we were playing Dumbarton at home and also managed to score. So I think that's definitely one that I'll always remember, as I've got the strip framed up on the wall. It was kind of one of those ones that builds up, and you can't wait to finally get there and kind of get that achievement. Also going to Ibrox on Boxing Day and getting a draw, scoring in the last minute. I don't think that one will ever be forgotten about until the time we beat Rangers. But certainly when you go to Stair Park, you'll still see pictures of the goal, the celebrations, and obviously Jammer's top is now in the media room at the club. So these are definitely two of my favourite memories.
After 5 years, you moved to Dumbarton. What was your highlights from this time?
Dumbarton was quite a difficult period, just because for 2 out of the 3 seasons I picked up some injuries that really set me back. But the first season I was there, I loved it. Just to be in the Championship, playing against good, strong teams, the likes of Hibs, Raith Rovers, Livingston, Rangers, St Mirren. These teams were all gunning to get back up to the top league, so each week was a difficult game. The atmosphere each week was always electric, going to these stadiums, and on the first season, my debut, scored a double against Morton. So in terms of debuts, things couldn't have been any better, and staying up that season was a major achievement, just because each week we were always tipped to get beat because we were the only part-time team in the league, which made it even more difficult. Also then moved on to Airdrie, only for 1 season. I did enjoy Airdrie. the changing room, probably one of the best I've been involved in. Each time it was always a laugh. It was a difficult season, maybe just for the fact that, you know, it was a full new team that got signed, but I still think if that team did get more time, then it probably could have achieved something. But obviously the club decided to go in a different route. But no, two fantastic clubs, and enjoyed my time there.
You signed back to Stranraer last season, but you couldn't play due to injury. Did you think you were going to be able to play?
So obviously I signed back at Stranraer with the intention to get back playing after picking up another cruciate injury at Airdrie. As far as I was aware, I was told that an operation wasn't needed. So for me it was about getting back to pre-season and hit the ground running at Stranraer. Unfortunately I lasted a week in training and I felt my knee go again, and I knew that was me back to square one. But to be fair, I never lost hope that I'd be back playing, because I'd done it before. I knew it could be done again. It was obviously a difficult season for me, watching every game and not even getting one appearance. But just worked hard, worked hard with the physio each day while the boys were out training, playing games, and unfortunately the season ended in us getting relegated through, you know, what happened with COVID, etc. But no, I'm just delighted to be back playing again, and I always had faith that I would be back playing.
How good was it to finally play again?
It was amazing to be back playing again. I knew at first it'd be really difficult when you come back from injury like that. Your fitness is away and you kind of lose confidence in yourself. You lose, you know, the wee things with your touch and passing, etc. go out the window, because the only thing you can think about is getting through games of football and not getting injured. Because you just don't want to go back to that feeling of missing out or having to go through that rehab or surgery again. Even though I've been through a lot in terms of, like I say, I've achieved things at my youth career and achieving so many games and places that I've played, probably the biggest achievement I've got in football is returning from injuries. If you speak to anyone who's had long-term injuries, they'll probably say it's the most difficult time in their career. I mean, I've been relegated at Dumbarton, relegated at Stranraer, twice through being 2 injured seasons and not playing any games. And it's probably just kind of rubbing salt into the wound, if you want to say that, because twice it's happened to me. But look, I'm back playing now, and you know, we're hoping this year that it's going to be the season we can get things going personally, and as a team we can get back to where we belong, at least in League One.
Grant Gallagher replacing Jinky Hilton.
There he comes.
Very few people here, but a smattering of applause for Gal as he makes his long awaited comeback for Stranraer. Went the whole season last season with no appearances.
I didn't think this would ever happen again, to be honest, but I mean, I'm so pleased it has. I mean, what a time Gal's had with these injuries. Just hopefully things kick on now, because what a tremendous player he'll be for Stranraer.
He scored 15 goals for Stranraer. Is there any goal that stands out?
I've got a few goals that I enjoyed scoring for Stranraer. One of them being a long time ago now. Was in the kind of Challenge Cup against Queen of the South away at Palmerston. The ball was cleared for a corner and I've managed to go and hit it from a decent distance. As I said, scoring on my 200 appearance against Dumbarton was also a good achievement. Scoring against Auchinleck Talbot as well, as we took to a replay in that game and we knew the next game would be Easter Road, so it was a massive game in terms for both clubs, and I managed to score the winner that day. But my most favourite is the one at Ayr. I don't know why, it just always seems to stand out, and it's managed to also make the kind of 150th kind of memorial up in the stadium now, and the exhibition that they've put on, the picture of me celebrating. And there's also a few pictures inside Stair Park, but it always just seems to stand out in my memory. But yeah, always seems to be my favourite for the club.
the best player you've played against and why?
I'd probably say that John McGinn was probably the hardest opponent. And you see him now, obviously, he's Aston Villa and really deserves his move. And the other night there, he was Scotland captain and always in the squads and probably usually in the starting lineup. But he's a low centre of gravity. Was always difficult to compete against. He could attack and defend, you know, and he was very busy, like, in terms of being energetic. So if you had the ball, you know, he was always pressing you. And without the ball, he was always wanting it to get on it or go and create something or go and get shots at goals. So definitely in the times when I was at Dumbarton and he was at Hibs, John McGinn was probably one of my toughest opponents.
What's the best 1 to 11 players you've played with?
I'd probably start with Alan Martin in goals. Was with Aldo at Dumbarton. Some of the saves he made during that season to keep us in games because the pressure we had to stand definitely helped us. I think he picked up a few awards, you know, the kind of players awards at the end of the season. Right back, I'd go with Scott Taggart. Tagg's obviously Alloa now, but played with him at Stranraer when he was on loan for Hibs, and then when I joined at Dumbarton, he was also there. Left back, maybe go with Jackson Longridge. Jacko came in as a young boy at Stranraer. Again, can up and down the wing, good cross of the ball, can pass it well. 2 centre halves, probably Stephen Bell. Bailey obviously could play middle of the park as well, but when Bailey played centre half, I thought we were defensively very good, talking, and obviously when he's played centre mid, he could pass it for the back, which always helps. Also put my big mate Robbo in there, because he'll give me a stick if I don't. But also Robbo, I think he's one of the guys also played a few positions, but when you put him at the heart of your defence, it makes it a bit easier in terms of playing for the back and reading the game and knowing what other players want from him. Right mid, I'll go with Sean Winter. Sean came for the juniors, signed at the same time as Stranraer as me. Set up so many goals, so many important goals, scored so many important goals. Was up and down the wing all day, crosses, and for a right winger, the amount of goals he scored was actually unbelievable. 2 centre mids, I would go with Johnny Routledge, played with him at Dumbarton. Very good sitting midfielder, very disciplined, never really bothered about scoring goals or taking people on. He was just there to break the play up, you know, get it and pass it, keep it moving, and break teams down. He was very, very good at it. Next to him, I would put Steph Stirling. Steph, obviously at Stranraer, picked up a lot of injuries with niggles here and there, but Steph on the ball and on his day was a very, very good player. The game that sticks in my mind was Dunfermline away. I think he played as the 10 or just in the hole and absolutely terrorised them, got on the ball for fun, turning, passing, creating. Probably the best I've ever seen him. Left wing, I would go with Kev Colley. Kev Colley, enjoyed playing with Kev. Again, always looking for the ball, wanting to create. Obviously still now at Alloa. He picks up these spaces that people find it hard taking a mark and don't want to get sucked into, and he drags people about the place very, very well. And also another one who's very creative in terms of always looks to go forward. Up top, probably the hardest ones. I've played with quite a lot of good strikers. I'm going to pick Jammer. If MD ever speaks about Jammer, they always probably speak about how time will slow down when he touches the ball. I think the same as at Ibrox, when he gets the ball, yeah, everyone's waiting for him to hit him. He was so composed, takes his time and finished it well. And I suppose I'll need to put his mate up there, Greg Malcolm. Malky, again, works so hard to get on the ball, off the ball. Always wanting to score goals. He's the type of guy that if you win 8-0 and he doesn't score, he's disappointed, because he's selfish that way, which isn't a bad thing for a striker. But no, a decent 11 and I enjoyed playing with.
What's your ambition for the rest of your career?
My ambition probably at the moment is just to keep playing as many games as I can. Obviously when you miss a couple of seasons through injury, it gets taken away from you, and you just want to keep staying fit. So for me it's this season, even though it's a shortened season, it's hopefully I can just get myself on the team sheet and keep playing regularly each week. And also it's been a real honour that when Jamie Hamill's not been available, that the gaffers letting me captain the side. So hopefully, like, come the end of the season, that can continue, and also, you know, it's maybe another playoff place for us, or one better, we go and win the league. So there's still time. I'll be 30 in January, which for some people seems old nowadays, because there's a lot of younger boys coming through. But nah, as I say, for me at the moment, it's just to keep playing games and do it at the kind of highest level possible. So hopefully that is through getting Stranraer promoted.
Thanks, Grant, for this week's interview. I can't wait to get back to Stranraer and watch the games and do the ball boying again. I'm sitting in 76 games ball boying. I want to get to 100 since I'm the #1 ball boy. And everyone, just stay tuned for the giveaway when I hit 150 subscribers. And once again, thanks, Grant, for the interview. Everyone, remember to like, subscribe and share, and hit the bell sign mostly in a brand new video. Peace, see you in the next one. Goodbye.